St. Paul's is important to me. My husband Ron and I returned to St. Paul's last year after being away for more than 20 years. You see, back in 2003, we started attending here when we had moved to Oakland from Memphis, Tennessee. We joined the St. Paul's Young Adult group, which we no longer qualify for at this point. And this group constituted one of our main groups of friends when we just moved here. Gavin Newsom was mayor of San Francisco at the time, and the city had just legalized gay marriage shortly after we signed our lease at the Jackson Lake Apartments, about half a mile from here. We took the wedding plunge on Valentine's Day and got hitched at City Hall under the big rotunda. And then we came back here to celebrate with friends from the Young Adult group. We had lunch at, I think it's a place called Chow Thai Cuisine on Lake Park Avenue. The following week, Jack Eastwood, Father Jack, blessed our new marriage at the Sunday Eucharist here. It was a special time. This church was here for us then, and it's also here for us now. 20 years later, I find this church to be very much a special place. The word is preached here, and is preached here powerfully. You get the sense that the Holy Spirit is alive and active in this place. You hear it in the passing of the peace, which we just did, in our music and worship. And you can see it in ministries, like the Pantry of Hope, which Reverend Stephen talked about. As I was thinking about our stewardship season this week, I couldn't help but remember something that Father Mauricio shared last week. He named some of the legacy projects that and ministries that St. Paul's has contributed over the past 60 years here in Oakland. St. Paul's Towers, which was constructed in 1964, has by now housed thousands of aging and elderly residents over the years. It would not be here but for this church. St. Paul's School opened in 1975. That school has educated thousands of children, imparting a strong moral foundation in the Episcopal tradition. It has helped form young people who have gone on to become leaders in this city and really around the world. These two ministries alone, and we could name others, have affected generations of people for the better here in Oakland. They were birthed during times of significant social upheaval in Oakland and in the country during the Civil Rights Movement and eventually the Black Panther Party here in Oakland. St. Paul's, through the faithfulness of our congregational forebearers, made a lasting and enduring impact that our community still benefits from this day. So it made me wonder, what kind of impact will we, this generation of St. Paul's, contribute to the world and to Oakland? What will our lasting legacy be to Oakland and to the world? We certainly have big shoes to fill. These are chaotic times, not quite seen like this in my lifetime. And I don't know about you, but I often find myself asking, what can I do? And what is God calling me to do in this time and in this place? Giving to St. Paul's is a concrete way to focus on what we can do in the here and now. Lots of things in life are out of our control, but giving is not. Giving is an act of the will, a voluntary act of love. Sometimes I'm tempted to think of pledging time and money to the church as kind of like a use tax or a fee for attending church. But that's a spiritual mistake. As Christians, one of the first things we learn is that the things that we possess, the talents and skills that we've developed or we're born with, the health we enjoy, and the time we've been given on this earth, they're all made possible by God alone. Giving is a way of recognizing this reality. It's an act of gratitude, a way of giving thanks to God for the lives that we've been given. I also believe that giving is an act of faith, almost a form of prayer. Because in giving, we trust that God will use the resources that we share in ways that we cannot yet see or imagine. God can make something big out of them, big out of small things, something lasting, something enduring. So as you are thinking about your pledge and thinking about the gifts of time and money that you will make to St. Paul's this next year, ask yourself what makes St. Paul special for you. And then ask, do I want to just give enough to keep the lights on? Or do I want to give in a way that helps this church do something big? To let our collective light flow out of these big, beautiful windows and into the streets and hearts of our neighbors here in Oakland. Thank you.